Welcome to A Moment of Zen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Zen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, cryptocurrency, fintech, cannabis, and entertainment from the millennial mom's perspective. Here's your host, Zen Sams.
Hello, my beautiful tri-state area. Wishing you all the best for 2024. Welcoming you now to our 149th episode. It's always such a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for listening and interacting with me on social media. That truly does make it all worthwhile. Make sure to follow us at Zen Sams. That's Zen with an X, not a Z. Of course, all episodes of A Moment of Zen stream 24/7 on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV platform, and you can always find us on our YouTube channel. We have such a great show lined up for you today. In our Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, we're featuring pro basketball player Taj Gibson, very own to the Knicks. He's here to discuss the New York Knicks, the potential for a coaching career, social activism, and the motivation behind the Taj Gibson Foundation. In our Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift, we're featuring Dr. Sheila Barbarino. She's an oculofacial plastics and full-body cosmetic surgeon, founder of Barbarino Surgical Arts. We're chatting non-invasive carbon dioxide therapy for skin rejuvenation, the most requested surgical and non-surgical procedures in her practice, and the pros and cons of injectables. In America's favorite pharmacist, brought to you by MaryRuth Organics, we're chatting with pharmaceutical expert Phil Cowley, joined by Joey Thurman, a health and fitness nutrition expert and TV contributor. He's author of 2 books, including his newest best-selling book, The Minimum Method, The Least You Can Do to Be a Stronger, Healthier, Happier You. He's also the co-creator of the fitness app, Fun Fitness Bros. Today, they join me to chat the dangers of skinny fat, also known as sarcopenia or sarcopenic obesity. It's a condition in which there's a disproportionate loss of muscle mass and a corresponding increase in a person's percentage of body fat. We've seen correlations between ozempic and sarcopenia, and we will be talking extensively about the dangers. In our Express Discover Your Potential bump, brought to you by Anna DeVere, contributor and podcast host of Discover Your Potential, she's going to be talking to us about financial alchemy, how you can flip your life around and turn your money honey on to attract all things incredible, including love, success, and manifest into the person you were meant to be. Stay tuned for New York's very own Taj Gibson chatting his next chapter and the Taj Gibson Foundation. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, 100% pure coconut water. Imagine a drink that's nutrient-rich, powerfully refreshing, naturally sweet with no added sugars, not from concentrate, 0 additives, low in calories, absolutely no artificial flavors, and is so tasty that it will become your new favorite beverage. Enter Once Upon a Coconut, the absolute best tasting coconut water you will ever try. Available in 4 refreshing flavors: pure, chocolate, pineapple, and sparkling with energy. Do your taste buds a favor and pick up some today at onceuponacoconut.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, we're featuring pro basketball player Taj Gibson, very own to the New York Knicks. He's a veteran forward who's made quite an impact on and off the court. He joins us to discuss his incredible journey, how pro basketball was never part of the plan, the potential for a coaching career, social activism, and the motivation behind the Taj Gibson Foundation. None other than Taj Gibson himself right here in studio. Welcoming now to the show is superstar himself. Hello.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us. A big shout out to Craig Lennon for making this happen. Thank you so much. Now, just for those of you that are just tuning in and have not been aware of who Taj Gibson is, I don't know how, but he's the real power forward, like I said, on and off the basketball court, a Brooklyn native and a professional NBA player known for his defensive skills and big heart. Taj, you recently rejoined the Knicks, and Coach Thibodeau spoke highly of your contributions to the team. What do you say to this, and how important is your relationship with your fellow players?
Those guys treat me like family. They did an awesome job giving the old veteran a call. It's just a great atmosphere there. Those guys are family.
Well, it's always about finding your fit, right? So
Yeah.
what road, if you could go back and look at the road that led you to pro basketball, what was that road, and was this the path you envisioned?
Really, to be honest with you, I didn't believe I was going to be a pro. I was just focusing on being a carpenter, being a construction worker. I already had my mind set on just the hourly work I wanted to do, but college came calling. I was able to go to USC. The NBA thing came kind of as a shock, but once it took hold, I was welcoming with welcome arms. I can honestly just say God is real. For me to make it to the NBA, I didn't even see it, to be honest with you.
Well, it takes a village, and there was a lot of incredible people around you, and many fans and experts see great coaching potential in you. And Coach Thibodeau also mentioned an open door for you to join the coaching staff if you decide to retire. How does that make you feel, and have you ever considered transitioning into coaching?
That just shows a lot of the hard work you put in over the years, a lot of respect, because those guys are old school guys. They've been in the league a long time. So when I hear older coaches, older GMs give me that kind of call, it's like it means a lot, because I put a lot of time and sweat and tears into this game. And to get that, it kind of brought a tear to my eye, because that's the one thing you want to do. When you're a player, try to play as hard as you can for your coaching staff, for the people behind the scenes. And when they give you that friendly nod, take it to heart.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle both expressed their belief that you would make a fantastic coach, and that must make you feel so proud to have that support from your teammates, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's the ultimate goal.
yeah, it's
true.
amazing. It's amazing. I tell you, when you're in the locker room for a long time, you kind of lose sight. You become a rookie. You're a young guy. You're running around. You're yelling. You're just eager to just talk to the vets. I was that guy. And then now I'm year 15. I'm the oldest guy in the locker room. I'm the guy looking down. I'm the guy getting the older vet jokes now. So it just comes full circle, man. You just don't take it for granted. But I'm looking forward to whatever opportunity comes next.
Well, the next chapter is knocking on your door. So you've been a mentor to so many players, and your leadership qualities have been praised, and they continue to be praised. What advice would you give to younger players, both on and off the court?
The toughest part about the game is just stepping onto the court. Just close out all the noise. When you think you shouldn't jump. When you think you shouldn't, just go out there and play. Even if you're late, even if you're 20 minutes late, you think you late for that practice, you late for that bus, you late for that tournament. You thinking that you're not going to be that guy to do well, to do anything. You go. You can have 1,000 excuses. You got to run a mile to get to school. You got to run 45 minutes just to make it to the first game. You're late. Whatever the excuse is, you go.
You go.
Just go.
Best effort, be a good teammate, stay committed to improving every day, on and off the court, of course. It's about dedication and professionalism, and those qualities take you a long way in the game and in life.
Yeah.
Now, it's one thing to introduce a premium coconut water that tastes better than anything you've tried before, but it's truly something else to give back to the communities and people that truly need it. So this particular segment, the Hydration with Heart segment, is sponsored by Once Upon a Coconut. And for every case of Once Upon a Coconut sold, they donate 10% to a charity every month, a different charity. Now, the Taj Gibson Foundation provides resources and inspiration to the youth of New York City to help keep them healthy and to help them reach their full potential, right? And through fundraising and networking, it's, of course, your goal to enrich these lives of the next generation of whether they're scholars or athletes, and really build into each neighborhood with sporting events and clothing and toy drives that you do so much, and reinforce really a healthy lifestyle. Beyond your achievements on the court, Taj, you've been now recognized for your positive influence with your foundation. What drives you to make a difference in the community, and how do you balance, career with Taj Gibson Foundation?
Well, the first thing first, I was one of those kids that was in the neighborhood that wanted a pro, or wanted somebody to take a few seconds to give me some knowledge. But luckily for me, growing up in downtown Brooklyn, Fort Greene, my community sheltered me. My community was behind me. So I just took all those attributes, and now I'm just trying to give back to what my community gave me. Downtown Brooklyn has always been special to me. And I'm going to continue to just be that forefront, representing Fort Greene to the fullest.
I love it. I love the ethos and the narrative that we're really putting forth today, because there's a lot of listeners out there just listening to you and really admiring not just your professional career, but also the person that you have grown to become, and you being able to be proactive, socially active, and give back to your very own community. It always comes down to community, like you said, whether it was your teammates embracing you and really providing that community for you, and whether it was Brooklyn, same thing. Now, let's talk a little bit about coconut water, because a lot of people are not educated on the benefits of coconut water. So it's obviously refreshing and nutritious. It offers a lot of health benefits. It's an excellent natural hydrator containing electrolytes like potassium and sodium and magnesium, and this makes it a great way to rehydrate the body, especially after exercise.
Yeah.
So could you share some health benefits you drink coconut water for, and was there an instance that it aided in your recovery?
Man, first thing first, I'm real big on coconut water. Being in the NBA almost close to 15 years of my career, and given the game of basketball my entire life, coconut water has been the main source. After my third year in the NBA, I noticed I was always dehydrated, always kind of gasping for air. My fluids are very low. When you play a lot of minutes in NBA, you always try to stay hydrated so you can get to the fourth quarter. The medical training staff just started giving me coconut water, but the taste, I had to adjust, because at first I didn't really like the taste. And as time goes on, now that's the first thing I drink, fresh coconut water as soon as I get up. And hopefully now I can get even more now after being on this show.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to supply you with coconut water. We have the raw, the pineapple, the chocolate. We could go one step further. It's a great source for essential nutrients, and all your vitamins like vitamin C, B complex, and minerals are included. So, that's not just a great tasting product, but there's nutritional benefits. Now, if you could give advice to your younger self, what advice would that be?
My younger self is don't take the game home with you sometime. Because throughout my whole career, I would say I took a lot of games home. As a player, you try to separate the two when you go home, try to unwind. But being around Tom Thibodeau most of my career, he had me so in a mind frame of just being the very best pro you can be, living hard, just living that lifestyle of just putting the game before everything. And so I used to take a lot of the games home mentally, physically, and it would drain me. So me listening to my younger self, I would just say, smile more. Smile more, man.
Yeah, definitely. Smiles open many doors for you. Now we have just about a minute left. What is your next chapter? Roadmap, 2024 for me.
Well, let's see. Right now, I'm enjoying working out. I'm enjoying staying in shape. The whole lifestyle of just staying in shape, drinking a lot of coconut water, running every day, running the Brooklyn Bridge. The whole lifestyle thing of just staying in shape. I got my friends around. I don't know. Only God knows. I let God draw the line, and I just follow it. But right now, I'm just enjoying just being Taj, enjoying being that guy that loves the game of basketball. But who knows? I'm just an open-minded guy, and I'm just a grateful guy. So whatever the plan is next, let's attack it.
Well, there's a big, big plan for you, my friend. Definitely, this is the beginning of your new chapter, and I can't thank you enough for coming here, being transparent. Definitely going to bring you out to Impact Zone. Big shout out to Dave Palladino. We're going to bring Taj over.
Yeah. I've been hearing a lot. It's my neck of the woods, so I got to go check in, man. Check in with the big homies.
Check in with the big homies. That's right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, my friend.
Thank you.
That was our Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. That was the amazing, the incredible Taj Gibson. You can check him out directly on the gram at Taj Gibson, or you can head directly to Taj Gibson Foundation. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Omega Ball on Your Home TV. Experience the thrill of Omega Ball, the collision of chaos and innovation in soccer. 3 teams, 3 goals, and non-stop action. Embrace the revolution. Watch Omega Ball on yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CO2 Lift. As we age, our skin loses moisture and elasticity, causing wrinkled skin. You can reverse this aging process with CO2 Lift. CO2 Lift utilizes the powerful benefits of carbon dioxide to lift, tighten, and regenerate your skin. This simple, painless at-home carboxytherapy treatment is scientifically proven to reverse the aging process. You will see reduction in wrinkles, increase in luminosity, and improve pigmentation, sagging, skin tone, and radiance. For more information or to order CO2 Lift, go to CO2Lift.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift, we're featuring Dr. Sheila Barbarino, an oculofacial plastics and full-body cosmetic surgeon. She's the founder of Barbarino Surgical Arts. Driven by precision and amazing results, she shares her extensive expertise in compassionate care with practices in Austin, Texas, and Los Angeles. Now, we're not used to seeing the words menopause and makeover together, but the phrase may soon be as common as mommy makeover. Plastic surgeons are just starting to talk about menopause makeovers as a way to address bodily changes that we now know are caused by the normal hormonal shifts of menopause. There's no one procedure that is specific to menopause, but a patient who has long entertained the idea of a breast reduction may finally want to get one. Someone with implants may opt for a smaller size, or someone may get a breast lift to reshape their chest. From mommy makeovers to menopause makeovers, we're chatting non-invasive carbon dioxide therapy for skin rejuvenation, the most requested surgical and non-surgical procedures in her practice, and the pros and cons of injectables. Welcoming now to the show is the amazing and the beautiful Dr. Sheila Barbarino. Welcome to the show, Stunner.
Hi, good to see you.
So excited to have you on. So can you tell us more about your background and what inspired you to specialize in cosmetic surgery, particularly with a focus on injectables, lasers, and aesthetic devices?
What really inspired me to focus on non-invasive as well as surgical techniques that could really help people quickly, and there's not a lot of recovery time. It's actually patient demand. Post-COVID, they have no patience for anything, no tolerance for anything. Everybody's go, go, go. And they want the same thing. They want a significant change with little downtime, little pain, little anything. They don't want to be in your office for very long. They don't want to have any downtime, and they want to go out that night and look fantastic and show off their new results, which is, the dream. It's the impossible dream, but it's the dream, right?
I love it. I love everything you're saying. We speak the same language. Now, carbon dioxide therapy, also known as carboxytherapy, involves the administration of carbon dioxide gas for various medical and cosmetic purposes. And in the context of skin rejuvenation, carboxytherapy is used to improve skin tone, texture, elasticity. The list goes on and on. So what is non-invasive carbon dioxide therapy, Sheila, and how does it contribute to skin rejuvenation? I mean, are there specific conditions or concerns that make patients more suitable candidates for this therapy?
So the best part is everyone's kind of a candidate for this. So I'll tell you my personal experience with CO2 mask when I first kind of brought it into my practice. So, I wanted to try it. I heard great things. We know, like you said, the science is there. We know that carbon dioxide has been used subdermally, intradermally, topically for many, many years to help with texture, tone, hydration. It really is kind of like a hyperbaric chamber for your face or wherever you apply it. And so, we all know the benefits of that, and it's very effective. But for me, my personal experience was I tried it, on a one-off, how good could this topical therapy be? And it was so funny. The day that I used it, I was having my makeup done, and my makeup artist that always does my makeup my glam squad, God bless them. And they were like, Dr. B, what did you do to your skin? Like what new device are you using in your practice that your skin's significantly different than what we did when we did your makeup yesterday and last week? And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, it's fantastic. It's just taking the makeup. And I always say this even to my patients, my surgical patients, my non-invasive patients. There's so many patients that come in and they're like, oh, I just want to do, a facelift, but I don't really want to resurface the skin or use good skincare or whatever it is. And it's so funny because as a surgeon, yes, I can do amazing things in the OR. I can do amazing things procedural wise, but the problem is that if people don't take care of their skin, it's still old skin on top of new results, right? So people still don't look, it can't be a mishmash of, the skin being bad texture, because that shows your age, that shows, the sun damage, that shows your wear and tear every day. So what we want to do is obviously minimize that. And so what's nice about the CO2 mask is it hydrates, it really gives that refreshed look. And so even though I do wear makeup, I wear makeup every day, thank God for makeup. But, when you put nice makeup on old looking skin, it still looks bad. And I don't care what anybody says. That's just, the facts. And so
It's the fact.
Moving into, not just for looks and for show. I do very aggressive lasers in my practice. I do very aggressive peels. And I use CO2 lift every time at post-procedure. And it really does decrease downtime. It decreases the redness, irritation, pain. It just really is that kind of turning point for the patient after using it, that it makes the procedure not so bad.
And it's interesting because carbon dioxide therapy is kind of a trending thing. We've been talking about it for the last, 6 months. But when you talk about, all the benefits from improved skin elasticity and firmness, reduction in the appearance of fine lines, I've been using it, the hydration and the radiance that comes with it. But pre-surgery applications are extremely important, right? To your point, it could be used.
You want to tee up your skin so that you can heal quicker, heal faster, and actually the tissue texture and tone is easier to sew together, to heal when I bring it together with sutures, and when I do invasive procedures or non-invasive, skin is the first thing we see when you look at anybody. And so I think that's the most important thing to address and tend to. I'm only giving them this much of their result with everything that I can do. And then they've got to take care of it and maintain it and make the skin look good.
Yes. And what they're calling now menopause makeovers, and all the lifts, face, breast, and neck are set to dominate plastic surgery in 2024, as patients and doctors are chasing the more natural looking and addressing the after effects of Ozempic. There's been a 19% increase in total procedures performed since 2019.
Absolutely.
And that's according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. And more of us are talking about it. Now, let's shift to the most requested surgical and non-surgical procedures. So in your practice, what are the most requested surgical procedures and what makes them so popular? And similarly, what non-surgical procedures do patients frequently seek, and what benefits do they offer compared to traditional surgical options? But under 3 minutes.
Go. So let me dissect your big question one by one. So most surgical procedure that's being requested right now, I believe, is blepharoplasties and brow pexy, under eye lifts, eye lifts in general. That is probably the number one. Probably number two is a lip lift, which is really surprising because it was kind of out of vogue and now it's back in vogue, because I think people, like you said, are kind of moving a little bit away from fillers. And so they want something that's going to be a little bit more of a permanent result and a little bit more of a natural result, which lip lift gives. I think the reason why people are going straight to an eyelid surgery is because, number one, the eyes are the window of the soul. It's the first thing you see, especially us as women. Every day when we apply our mascara or put on our eye makeup, that's what we notice, and that's what bothers us the most, right? And I also think it's a surgery that has very little downtime, right? It really is, an hour, maybe an hour and a half or less in the operating room. People always look better right afterwards. I don't care how bruised you are. All of my patients are like, gosh, I look so much better. And we just did an hour ago, and that's how everyone should feel. And that's why I think that the eyelid surgery is so popular. There's so much focus on the eyes as far as non-invasive treatments that people are requesting are like, kind of like what you said. So number one, thread lifting procedures are really big right now. I think it's because people do have a little bit of filler fatigue. I don't think threads at all get rid of fillers. They do two different things. Threads lift tissue and filler fills volume. You kind of need both. I always say 99.9% of patients need threads and filler, and of course neuromodulator to stop the wrinkle. So all three of those are really the ideal way of taking care of your skin. But I think peels and skin boosters are huge. Biostimulators, like you said, people really want to look natural, but they don't want to look old.
No, and many younger people who have gotten used to appearance changes after dabbling in fillers in their 20s and 30s are asking about procedures historically tailored for the over 50 demographic. And while a 40-year-old may not be a candidate for a traditional neck lift, a new twist on classic procedures is gaining steam, right? So over the last 4 years, the number of breast reductions has shot up by 54%, and the most requested implant sizes have gotten smaller. 5 years ago, everybody wanted to be a D cup. Now it's a large B, a small C, right? So to your point, shifting to more natural. Now, let's talk about cost-effective non-surgical facelift. So many individuals are interested in non-surgical facelift options. What, in your experience, is the most cost-effective way to achieve that non-surgical facelift?
There's so many ways these days. That's what's the best part. So there's fillers, there's thread lifting, there's radiofrequency, there's microneedling, there's all these different ways, and we can attack it on so many different areas that can really lift and tighten and make us look. There's hyperdilute radius, there's Sculptra, there's all these biostimulators, there's injectable, like I said, skin boosters that, everyone's kind of become accustomed to taking glutathione and all these vitamins and getting IV infusions. Now we can infuse into our skin directly, and it just makes everyone look more beautiful, more radiant, stimulating collagen, not just for today, but for in the years to come. Who doesn't want to invest in looking good for the years to come and looking good today?
Yeah, I agree. I'm all about longevity and doing it the natural way and aging gracefully, which is why I want to talk about the pros and cons of injectables. So injectable treatments are still very widely sought after. What, in your opinion, are the key advantages of injectables for facial rejuvenation? And then on the flip side, what are the potential drawbacks or the cons that patients should consider when opting for injectable treatments?
The pros of injectables are instant gratification. Oftentimes, it will make you look more youthful, more rejuvenated. It really does hydrate your skin. Oftentimes, all of the injectables have a natural tendency to increase collagen just from this needle stimulation, as well as the hyaluronic acid drawing the water in to make your face look supple, or whatever area you inject supple, and kind of place structures or fat pads and things that were there when you were youthful and younger, put them back where they should be. So that's the pros. The cons are that we're learning is that sometimes people can get over injected, as we all know, and that's I call it marshmallow pillow face. It's not a good look. Nobody wants to look fake. But what's really great is our science has become so advanced that we're catching up to. We want more natural looking hyaluronic acid and more natural looking injectables that really move with our movements. So not every time we move, we see the filler, or you could look at someone now and you're not sure if they had filler. That's the look we're going for. Not that, wow, she's got her lips done. That looks a little crazy. As well as hollowness underneath our eyes, it can restore. Fillers are fantastic. And all of us need them, and they're just like the magic sauce. But cons, there's, with everything, there's a danger to injectables. They're not risk-free. You can have vascular occlusions. You can have very rare cases of blindness. So you just have to be really careful. Make sure your provider is credentialed, that they're an experienced injector, that they know what they're doing. And then I think the most experienced injector can have complications just like anybody else. But what makes them an expert is that they know how to get themselves out of trouble and can help you if you were to have that complication. So that's what you really want to go to, is someone that knows how to deal with the problems in case they arise, because problems arise all the time, whether you're good or you're not good, and it's how you deal with them.
Well, that's the reassuring part. Now, in your experience, how does informed and empowered decision making contribute to overall patient satisfaction?
Oh my God, I love an informed patient. It's so funny. There's so many of my friends that are like, oh, Google's going to kill us. It's going to kill my soul, because they come in and they have like a long list of, I like it because I feel like they can educate themselves to a certain point. Is everything on the internet correct? Absolutely not. Most of it's false, but it's nice to have that rapport with your patients, that they can ask you questions and that you can answer them honestly, sincerely, and assure them of what their outcome is going to be. Because you're right, no procedure is without risk. And so for them to be aware of the risks are very important. I know a lot of people sometimes are like, I don't want to know. I don't want to worry about it. I get anxiety anyway. But the truth is that if it were to happen, you want them to know that this was a possibility, and now we just have to deal with it together.
Exactly. And I've seen a lot of situations where I know the lead injectors that train, they're from Allergan, the lead trainers. And the one thing they say is like, some of these patients who have gone to inexperienced hands have even hypertrophic scarring. It can occur with superficial placement of fistula. And then there's migration or a sterile abscess, or what was the other one she said? It was a
Look at you. You know, you know all of them. I love it.
Hold on. It was similar to a Greek word. It was telangiectasia.
Telangiectasia.
Yes, that's it.
Telangiectasia.
Yes. So yeah,
it can cause broken blood vessels. 100%. I love it. See, I love an educated. It's so much more interesting to me as a practitioner to talk to someone that knows what they're talking about, because it's a great starting point, and then we can move forward with whatever treatment or whatever. An educated patient, an informed patient is always makes me feel better about moving forward. When I have patients that just don't understand it or just don't get it, I think that's when I tend to say, you know what, I want to step away from that.
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on you, because now you're trying not only to come up with solutions for them, but educate them and then come up with the solutions. And then it's a different process versus they come in, they're informed, they've done their research, you're speaking kind of the same language. Well, we are officially out of time. I want to thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me.
You're lovely. Anytime.
All right. Well, you are invited as my expert on the microphone, trailblazing woman. I love your transparency, and I love that you are so well educated and so just able to have a conversation, right? It's amazing that you are so passionate about your craft that you could probably officially speak longer than I can.
I love it. Yes. I drink the Kool-Aid. I sell the Kool-Aid every day. I love it. I love what I do. And it's such an honor to do what I do. So, and I hope to meet you someday in New York.
That was our Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift. Check her out. She's amazing. BarbarinoSurgicalArts.com, or you can check her out on the gram at Barbarino Surgical Arts. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Make it happen with Mariah Calor, where entrepreneurship meets heart and home. Join her on a journey through the dynamic world of real estate. As a wife and mom of 2 boys who's conquering it all, witness the passion, hustle, and joy as she navigates the exciting intersection of business and family. Check out Make It Happen with Mariah Calor on yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. A Moment of Zen is brought to you by MaryRuth's Organics. Not all supplements are alike. MaryRuth's believes that making the best supplements means creating products that are only made out of the highest quality ingredients. They are non-GMO, plant-based, vegan, and they taste great. MaryRuth's Organics assist in maintaining your health and aid your body on your way to wellness. For more information, go to MaryRuthOrganics.com and use the promo code PHIL20MRO for 30% discount off your first order. That's MaryRuthOrganics.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in America's favorite pharmacist segment, brought to you by MaryRuth Organics, we're chatting with pharmaceutical expert and mega social media influencer, Phil Cowley. He's joined by Joey Thurman. Joey is a health and fitness nutrition expert and television contributor. He's the author of 2 books, including his newest one, The Minimum Method, The Least You Can Do to Be a Stronger, Healthier, Happier You. He's also the co-creator of the fitness app, Fun Fitness Bros. Today, they join me to chat the dangers of skinny fat. Skinny fat, also known as sarcopenia or sarcopenic obesity, is a condition in which there is a disproportionate loss of muscle mass and a corresponding increase in a person's percentage of body fat. Correlations between GLP-1 medications like Ozempic and sarcopenia should be noted. Ozempic can cause major loss of muscle mass and reduce bone density, lowering your resting metabolic rate, leading to sarcopenia. It's a dangerous predicament to find yourself in. But don't just take my word for it. Joining me now are my experts at hand, Joey Thurman and Phil Cowley. Welcome to the show, superstars.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
So, Phil, let's start with you. In your extensive experience, what are the key mechanisms by which GLP-1 medications like Ozempic and Mounjaro can lead to the loss of muscle mass and reduction in bone density? And could you also elaborate on the potential risks and dangers associated with such rapid weight loss?
So everybody looks at these medications as being the answer, the cure, and they don't look at it the way they're supposed to. These medications, the tirzepatide and the semaglutide, they're really great tools, but they're not the solution. And the reason why I say that is because we are seeing people lose not only fat, which is fantastic. We reduce obesity, we think, oh, they're going to live longer. But we're seeing up to a 15% reduction of lean body mass. And as we get older, that lean body mass is the only predictor of how long we live. And so when your body goes in, has an excess of GLP-1, it's non-discriminate of where it takes the fat from, takes the calories from. It takes an even amount from both body mass of lean muscle as well as taking it from fat itself, meaning that you start to lose weight, but it doesn't mean that you're more healthy. And the other thing that GLP-1 medications do is they quite often make people very lethargic, and building muscle is extremely hard while you're losing weight. You go into a saving mode and you're starting to lose a lot of calories really quickly. The last thing your body says is, hey, why don't we build muscle?
You know, the risk of it makes me cringe because the risk of muscle loss and sarcopenic obesity while taking the GLP-1s is just one reason of many people on these medications should be under the supervision of a medical expert and supported by a nutrition expert who can ensure that they're meeting protein needs and avoiding health risks. And a lot of people just get it on the black market and, take it as a weight loss drug. So for Joey, how does sarcopenic impact an individual's overall health, and what role does maintaining muscle mass play in preventing this condition? And then in addition, if given your expertise, are there any specific exercise regimens or nutritional approaches that individuals on GLP-1 medications can adopt to really preserve muscle and bone density?
Yeah, I mean, to mirror Phil's comment, yes, it's a tool. It can be a great tool. I have recommended it only to 2 clients when I know that they can actually implement the proper habits that I'm going to talk about here. And we got 300,000 people per year that break a hip. 95% of them have muscle loss and do it because of a fall. So when you're falling, your muscles need to activate and better proprioception, basically where you are in space. Can you catch yourself? Muscles need to contract to stabilize yourself so you don't fall. You break a hip, loss of muscle, so sarcopenia, right, is going to lead to decreased bone density. Now, you obviously need to weight train to maintain that muscle mass. Yes, it's metabolically active, but it's also protective on your body. Think of it like a body armor as well. So yes, we need to resistance train at least 2 days a week if you're doing a full body workout. Get to the point where you're within like 1 to 3 reps of failure, or reps in reserve, what they say. And we're not going to get into what failure is. That's a long conversation there. But you need to tax your body where that rep is slowing down. Let's say it's a bicep curl. You need to stress that to the point where that muscle is experiencing the hypertrophic effect, or to at least maintain that muscle tissue. Now, when people get on a GLP-1, often they're not having enough protein, right? Then they're not working out because they're just using this as a crutch. So then you're eating less, they're eating, Twinkies and donuts and everything else, which there can be a place in a regular diet for that, but you're not having your protein, you're not aware of your macronutrient and your micronutrient status, which is huge when people forget about it. And then there's lack of sleep and everything else that's associated with it. And yes, your metabolism will adapt, and we'll get into this later, will adapt and slow down. Your metabolism is never broken. It will slow down based off of your body weight and your metabolic rate. And even guys that are competing in bodybuilding, their testosterone levels can go down by about 75%. So think about it. If we're moving less, if we've got less muscle tissue, all of these things are just compounding, and it's making us worse, even though the scale is going down. If the scale goes down, that doesn't mean you're healthier. If the scale goes up, that doesn't mean you're unhealthy. Context is king.
I love what you just said. You should coin that. Now, if you think of it in retrospect, resistance training mitigates all muscle loss that occurs during caloric restriction. So I always say it's imperative to incorporate some sort of individualized resistance training for everyone undergoing therapeutic weight loss interventions, specifically these GLP-1s. Now, Phil, what are the challenges in balancing the management of conditions like diabetes with the potential side effects such as sarcopenia from medications like Ozempic and Mounjaro and everything we've been talking about?
So this is where you really get interesting to me, because you have to take something if you're diabetic. We're not talking about somebody who just needs to lose a few pounds. We're talking about somebody who will lose their feet or lose their eyes. And so these individuals, we see them as a higher risk category to begin with. And because we have that higher risk category, we put a little caveat next to their name saying, you're probably going to be taking this medication forever unless they can cure diabetes, and nobody's close yet. These people are going to be taking it forever and ever. So those individuals already know that they have to be working out 5 days a week. Like, they have to be moving. They know it because they have to keep their blood flow to their feet, to their eyes, to everything else. And so those individuals usually come in with the idea of, here's a new tool to add to these other 6 tools that I have. I can't just do this and think it's over. And they're very aware of what happens in sarcopenia and what happens to their kidneys when they start spilling proteins because they break down muscle so fast. So I actually find the individuals who are diabetic are much more prepared for what is required of them and have a better expected outcome when they start taking medications like this.
That's a great answer. That you put that exactly the way, it's meant to be interpreted. And the individuals who are diabetic taking these medications need them as a survival tool, not just as another, tool in the toolkit. And they are very responsible about taking them and following the right protocols surrounding that medication, to your point. It's the latter of the demographic that we need to be worried about. And Joey, this brings me to my next question. How can healthcare professionals and individuals find this personalized approach that addresses the medical needs, but also at the same time minimizes the risks associated with sarcopenia?
Yeah, we need to have protocols, and I think when you have a protocol, then you've got standard optimization for everybody that's coming in. So you do regular assessments. How are they evaluations on their strength, on their bone density. You can do a DEXA scan. I've got some stats here. They found that grip strength. This is one of the things that we really need to look at lifespan here. Grip strength, which is directly associated generally when people are working out. Now, men should have a 57-pound grip strength, and women 35 pounds. Now, if that drops down, that correlates with a higher risk of all sorts of different disease and less of a lifespan. So it makes sense, right? Where our bone density goes down, our grip strength goes down, we're not working out. Exercise programming, as I mentioned before, at least 2 days a week of resistance training, full body, preferably more. I would say if you've got 1 day to work out, resistance training, 2 days resistance training, 3 days resistance training. And you got 4 days, then maybe we add some cardio in there. Like, we're moving. We don't stop breathing when we're lifting weights. So there's some cardiovascular components from that. Okay, just get your steps in. That's free. Like, hit 10,000, 12,000 a day. That'll help. Even if you're not active, if you're elderly, if you're looking at studies, them just moving around, if they weren't active, that will actually help build a little bit of muscle tissue and maintain the muscle tissue. And then we add some light resistance training in there. They don't need to go to full on failure because they haven't worked out in a long time. That could even be up to like 8 reps before they fail out. Lifestyle modification, sleep, hunger, recovery, all that sort of stuff is going to make sense. And then you've got to go back and monitor and reassess and reevaluate over and over and over again, because you get to work out right now. You get to be healthy. You get to listen to this show, and you can take these tools and implement them. And that's really going to help you along the way. So whether you're a doctor, you're a trainer, you're a nutritionist, anything like that, make sure your clients are doing this. If you've got 5 pounds to lose, this is not for you. If you've done everything you can and you've got hundreds of pounds to lose, and you can get your protein around a gram per pound. I mean, we're not going to get into the caveats of that, a gram per pound or a gram per lean mass, if you know that, if you're fat-free mass. That's a good place to start, and then get the exercise in at least 2 days a week of resistance training, and make sure we hit the legs, baby, because everybody needs legs.
Wow. That was like the speed answer in under 2 minutes. I love it.
Gotcha.
Now, Phil, regarding Ozempic's impact on resting metabolic rate, can you explain how Ozempic specifically affects that metabolic rate and the resting metabolic rate, and why this aspect is crucial in the context of sarcopenia?
Yeah, I mean, Joey answered a little bit that earlier, and I love the way that he did it. I always look at our bodies as like a car. So when we go into a resting state, instead of using all 8 cylinders, our body says, oh, I only need to use 4. Well, that 4 cylinders, when we use it in the car, burns less gas, and that gas equivalates out to our metabolic state. When we start building lean muscle, let's just say you start hitting the gym 3 days a week, and you do what you can do. Now, every time you get up and move, you move all those muscles. So instead of just using 4 cylinders, you've moved to 8 cylinders, meaning that your body says, hey, if I'm going to move, I'm going to kick in more, and that muscle is going to make me burn more. So you'll find somebody who starts out with Ozempic burning 1,800 calories a day. But by the time that they're done dropping all the weight they are, now they're only burning 1,200, but they're still used to eating that 1,800. So they come off of the Ozempic, don't have those extra muscles that have burned that extra energy, and then they go back to the 1,800. Now you're gaining 600 calories a day just because you've lost so much lean muscle mass. And so the more muscle you have engaged, even when you just pick up a jar of pickles, will increase the way that your metabolism works. When you sleep, how you feel, your thermodynamics will tell you a lot. People who lose a lot of weight all of a sudden are cold out of nowhere. All of those things lead to loss of muscle mass. And loss of muscle mass, again, is the highest place to look at on longevity of life. You lose muscle loss, you die younger.
Wow, that just hit straight close to home, because at this point, even people that are not overweight should heed the warning, because it's all about muscle mass. Now, Joey, from a fitness and nutrition standpoint, how can individuals manage their metabolic rate to mitigate the risks of muscle mass loss, which seems to be the big culprit here?
Yeah, I'm going to try to answer this in about a minute and a half. So let's remember shreds, biofeedback: sleep, hunger, recovery, energy, digestion, stress. Think about that right there. As part of one of my certifications, I'm a functional nutrition and metabolism specialist. So we look at this. Your sleep has to be absolutely on point. Whether that's you're getting 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day, make sure it's consistent times. Hunger, managing your hunger. If you're hungry all of the time, you're going to probably binge, overeat, undereat, those sort of things. If you're on a GLP-1, you need to be aware of that and be aware of the food that you're getting. So a good tool that I use, I'm not paid for, but I'll take money if they wanted to. Chronometer. Like you can track your micronutrients, your macronutrient status, and see if you're lacking B, manganese, iodine, all these things that are metabolically active. Recovery. Are you sleeping enough? Are you recovering between sets enough? Are you burning the candle at both ends? Are you doing too many HIIT classes where cortisol levels is chronically elevated? Cortisol is a good thing. Everybody thinks cortisol is bad. It's a hormone for a reason. We have it. There's no accidental hormones. Energy. How is your energy? Are you sleeping enough? Are all these things beforehand affecting you? Digestion. Are the foods you're eating affecting it? Your digestion is going to slow down on something like this. So what can you handle? What can you digest? I have a client that I just have him doing smoothies and greens and fruit because he can't eat enough, but it's getting his macronutrients and micronutrients just from blending it together. And stress. How are you managing that stress? Whether that's sleep, whether that's work stress, whether that's life stress, whether that's an acute stressor. Are you doing breathing tactics, box breathing, physiological size? All these things can affect your metabolic rate and how your body is working together like a car. As Phil said, our body's a system. It needs to work together and fire on all cylinders.
Wow. Yeah, that's exactly right. And when I as a mom, I'm always advocating for, make sure we're getting the right amount of sleep because I'm always advocating for optimal circadian patterns and optimal circadian patterns of these hormones can also contribute to, a healthier body composition like you said. And conversely, sleep deprivation can lead to increased levels of your hunger hormone causing more food cravings. So it all ties back to just having your car run like a well-oiled machine, no pun intended. Now, Phil, can healthcare professionals and influencers like yourself and Joey contribute to raising awareness about the potential dangers of skinny fat and the specific risks associated with these medications? Because I feel like the medical professionals are not attacking this conversation as aggressively as influencers and health experts are. The doctors seem to have taken a step back here.
Doctors like to use evidence-based medicine, and they kind of stay within that range, which isn't a problem generally speaking, but it's just a little bit short-sighted. When you have medication that realistically have been used by the populace now in the way that we are for what, 2-3 years, they haven't had time to gather the information that they need. We don't know what somebody who's been on Ozempic or on Mounjaro looks like in 15 years because they don't exist. And so we haven't even started to look at the sarcopenic category of individuals, especially those in their later years. You start somebody who is overweight when they're 62 and they're already losing lean body mass and they drop a lot of weight and we think this will be great. And they take all of the information they have and they have extrapolated that from obesity rates. So if we reduce obesity rates naturally, they live longer. Well, we're reducing obesity rates, but not in a way that's ever been seen before. So they're extrapolating out two pieces of data. The data first is they're losing weight. So we think this is what's going to happen, but we only think that because of these other studies. And so the reason why people like Joey and myself are seeing it is because I'm seeing patients not performing the way you would expect with somebody who normally lose weight through exercise. Those people look different. They're healthier. You see them moving more. Whereas now what you're seeing is patients that almost look like chemotherapy patients. They come in, it's like they've lost everything and you're starting from scratch. So it sets off alarms for people like Joey and myself. We're like, okay, this isn't normal weight loss. Something else has happened here. And this is a mess. I mean, this is going to take me months to help them get back to where they're at. And so I think the reason why you're seeing it is the hands-on approach versus the data-based approach. And in 10 years, the doctors will be saying the exact same thing that we're saying now. It just takes them a while to get the data.
Well, that's another great answer, and you're right. You put things into perspective exactly the way that, America sees things, right? They wait for the doctors to come in, the CDC hands them the reports, the doctors react. Same thing with the FDA. This is a vicious cycle because in the interim, you're left to pick up the pieces of the puzzle and help everybody coming to the pharmacy and Joey coming to him for, to get back into shape. Well, we are at the end of a great segment. Joey, thank you so much for coming on. Phil, always a pleasure to chat with you. You are one of our regular contributors and one of the most popular at this point.
Well, thank you, Joey. This was awesome. You made it so easy. It was so much fun.
You're easy, man, all in a good way.
Guys, it's very important to educate both healthcare providers and the general public about making informed choices regarding medications and their impact on body composition. That was America's Favorite Pharmacist segment brought to you by MaryRuth Organics. And that was the incredible pharmaceutical expert, mega social media influencer, Phil Cowley, joined by our dear friend, Joey Thurman. Joey's a health, fitness, nutrition expert and television contributor. You definitely have to check out his book, The Minimum Method, The Least You Can Do to Be a Stronger, Healthier, Happier You. And check out his really fun app. He co-created it. It's called The Fun Fitness Bros. Check him out on the gram at Joey Thurman Fit. And check out Phil at Phil's My Pharmacist. Do check out the incredible supplements at MaryRuthOrganics.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
The Kelly Williams Show is brought to you by Serendipity Yacht Cruises and Events. Tune in and turn on your happy. Kelly Williams is full of energy and incredible guests. Watch her anytime, free programming on Your Home TV network, and do follow her on social media for a chance to win monthly prizes. Check out The Kelly Williams Show on yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. A Moment of Zen is sponsored by Body Align. Are you ready for a long winter's nap? Over 183 million adults have trouble sleeping at least once a week. That's why Body Align designed a wearable patch that helps you fall asleep faster, wake up feeling refreshed, and comes with a money-back guarantee. Try the Sweet Dreams patch today and get a buy one, get one free pack with the promo code DYP. Visit bodyalign.com and enter DYP at checkout because discovering your potential starts with a great night's sleep. That's bodyalign.com.
Welcome back to this week's Discover Your Potential Express segment, sponsored by Body Align on A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm Anna DeVere, co-host of Discover Your Potential, and today we're talking about manifestation. Everyone's heard of the law of attraction, that like attracts like. No matter who you follow for this kind of advice, I'm here to tell you there's an easier way. One of the reasons we struggle so much to change our habits is that real change happens on the subconscious level. So 9 times out of 10, you read a self-help book and it only activates the conscious brain. You want to improve your situation, but you're only operating on willpower. And we all know how that goes. The minute you create a vision board, you've already lost the motivation to see it through. Not sure how to bypass this? Have no fear. I have a really great tip for you today. If you've been following our advice this year on love and becoming a money magnet, you'll know I stand by the advice I got from Morgana Ray in her book, Financial Alchemy. Her extended interview is coming up soon, and I really want to encourage you to jump on board and try her book before then. So I'm offering a Valentine's Day giveaway. More details in a minute on how to win a free copy. And yes, I know I said that books don't always work, but this one really does. My favorite exercise in Financial Alchemy is about changing the story. Those stories you carry around in your subconscious are the ones running the show. And I'll give you an example. How many of you believe in putting everyone else first? If this is your story, I can guarantee 2 things. You feel safe in this pattern and you're probably exhausted. We all hang on to a story that serves a purpose, and this one is so common. When I taught this exercise in a group, it was almost unanimous among women. Breaking this pattern involves putting your finger on it. So how do you feel when you say those words out loud? I put everyone else first. Financial Alchemy will teach you the next steps for eradicating this story, as in putting it on a piece of paper and burning it. Yeah, it really works. And then you put in a new story. And the most important part is celebrating with something delicious. In the season of champagne and chocolates, this is not going to be hard. So go to our website, www.discoveryourpotentialshow.com/book giveaway. That's www.discoveryourpotentialshow.com/book giveaway to find out how to win your own copy of Financial Alchemy. And make sure you give yourself love and kindness first as you look in the mirror, my friends. From iHeart to your heart, this Express segment was sponsored by Body Align. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is sponsored by FinTech TV.
FinTech TV, the newest streaming channel focused exclusively on the business of blockchain, digital assets, and sustainability. Broadcasting from our studio on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with daily reports from NASDAQ, global expansion, and 24/7 coverage. Become part of the launch. Head to fintech.tv/invest. Fintech.tv/invest.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to live on a boat? Climb aboard and share in the amazing yard-to-yacht adventure on yourhometv.com and explore the warm tropical islands, meet the people, and sample the culture of the beautiful places. Check out Yard to Yacht on yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
Well, that's a wrap, my dear friends. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Or you could head to 710WOR.iHeart.com/a moment of Zen. Also, remember that we're live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m., YouTube Sundays at 2 p.m., and all episodes of A Moment of Zen stream at 24/7 on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV platform. You could head directly to our channel at mox.yourhometv.com. Thank you for listening to us. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Thanks again to all of our sponsors that continue to make the show possible. And remember that happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it.